Hi, I'm Leonie West from Westalee Design, and I'm going to show you how we sew our circles on quilts Wreath Number 1. On the template you will notice there is a line that runs through the centre, and this is the line that we use as a reference line each time we get to the quarter marks or the eighth marks. We can check that we're on the right position. We also have the stitching line marked, and this is to enable us to line up our position each time we sew one of the portions of this wreath. This wreath has 36 rotations to complete the wreath. We're going to start at A. I'm going to replace the key into the template, and that will give us a smooth line to stitch against. We're going to start sewing here, which is at A. We're going to sew all the way around to B. When we get to B, we will stop and come back to B1. Remember, when you're working with templates, that you don't have to go fast. You're better off going nice and smooth, and you should not push your templates down to the bed of the machine. We're holding the fabric and template at the same time and moving the template and the fabric together. If we press down too hard, we won't be able to smoothly move our template and fabric. We're now back to B1, and we're going to turn the template. When we turn the template, we're going to check that we're aligned with our stitches that are marked on the template, and that this part of the template just touches the edge of the stitches here, and then we're going to continue round. You will learn your pace and rhythm with practice, and the more you quilt, the more even your stitches will become. I'm going to stop at A1, and I'm going to turn the template around again. We're going to sew back to B, and when we get to B, we will stop on the stitch line that we've sewn. Come back to B1, stop, turn the template again, aligning our stitch line, aligning the edge of the template with the stitch line. Back to A, and then back to A1. Turn the template, checking that we're in alignment again. And we go back to B1. Each time you turn the template, just check that you're in place with the stitch line from before. Now we're at the quarter mark crosshair line, and I'm going to turn this around so that you can see it. When we get to that crosshair, we want our reference line on the tool to be in line with the crosshair, which this is beautifully. If we're not in a line here, it means that we've been cribbing a bit with each of our portions of our wreath that we're sewing. So we can at this point make an adjustment to make sure that when we get to the next crosshair, we're not further away. So this one's lined up perfectly. I don't need to make any adjustments. Sometimes you may push the template a little out of the way when you're doing your stitching, and that's why we put those crosshair reference lines on the tool and why we mark the block. When we get to the full rotation, we want to be able to end with the wreath part portion being the same as all the rest of the wreaths. If you do find that you're moving out, you can make an adjustment in the top portion of these wreath sections. So you could just move it slightly by one stitch and make up any discrepancy that you may have. But it's really as simple as sewing from A to B, B1 and A1, stopping and rotating the template when you get to the B1. If you need to move one stitch, stitch on that line and move it. It's just to making sure that that edge of the template at the stitch line from the previous is in the correct position. So this is our completed Circles on Quilts Wreath number 1. It measures 11.5 inches from edge to edge across the circle, and the space in the centre is 7.5 inches. You can now do what you want filling the outside. We can fill it with lines, we could fill the inside with circles, and you saw how easy it is to complete our Circles on Quilts Wreath number 1.